For this session, may I request Mr. Kumar Gyanendra Mohan, Deputy General Manager, Asset Management, Construction Plant and Machinery, Montecarlo, to join us. Mr. Mohan brings along more than 20 years of diversified experience and year-on-year success in the areas of asset management, operations and maintenance, erection and commissioning, plant operations, monitoring of operational and repairing costs as per budget, troubleshooting, fuel consumption monitoring and control. Thank you for joining us today, Mr. Mohan. You have 15 minutes for this session. So while Mr. Mohan is, just going to be joining us, I would like to share with all my viewers that I know these sessions are very informative and there's a lot of information coming along. Do also share your questions while you are taking all the information. I'm sure there is a lot more that you would want to know. While we are constrained by time, but we would definitely, like to take up maximum questions at the end of every panel session. So after Mr. Mohan makes his presentation, we're going to have one more panel discussion. So please keep your questions going and we would try our best to take most of it. And like I mentioned, Mr. Mohan is going to be speaking on optimizing fuel efficiency. So while Mr. Mohan is joining in, we would like to have a video for you. So please, may we have this video, please, for our viewers?
Around the world, engineers and architects, constructors and owner-operators are using Bentley's software solutions to design, build and operate the infrastructure that sustains our economy and our environment. Together, we are advancing infrastructure.
It is the front of house for our Emirates. So we wanted to do something spectacular, something iconic, something everybody will remember.
We chose Bentley. There are not many competitors who could do a project on this scale.
We wanted to use technology, digital technology, to do it in the best possible way. Bentley software.
We're very proud of the association with Bentley Systems. It's allowed us to be a leader in the industry.
And more important is, the Bentley management has worked with us to help us feel that comfort to work with Bentley. And that is what is driving us.
Bentley, advancing infrastructure.
Over to you. You can take it forward from here. You would have 10 to 15 minutes for this presentation.
Okay, thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Good afternoon to all the participants of this virtual summit. Now I will talk about the optimizing fuel efficiency. As we all know, fuel plays an important role within the construction industry, and diesel is used as a fuel in most of the construction equipment. It contributes more than 30% of the operational cost. Next, it contributes more than 30% of the operational cost of construction equipment and having major impact on the profit of the company. As we all know, the project cost is reducing day by day due to a heavy competition and the material cost is increasing. So to make profit in this scenario, efficient working is most necessary. Hence, implementation of efficient fuel management program is must for reduction in operational cost of construction equipment. Now we have to understand on what factor the fuel consumption depends on. The first is engine size and engine type. When the engine size is more, then their fuel consumption will be high. Second is the drive type fitted with the engine. As we all know, there are different type of drives like torque converter, transmission, etc. is fitted. And based on this also fuel consumption depends. Then equipment design and aerodynamics. Then quality of fuel, load factor on engine. When the load on the engine is more, then fuel consumption is high. Then operating RPM of the engine. If the RPM of the engine is more, then the fuel consumption will be more. Then in the poor operating habits like friction stop, speed variation, and etc. Then next is sufficient intake air and filtration of intake air. Calibration of engine fuel pump and injector. Compliance of recommended maintenance practice. We need to follow the recommended maintenance practice from the OEM. Gross weight of vehicle weight, then ambient temperature, altitude and humidity, wind direction and velocity, terrain elevation change, etc., and wheel alignment and tire pressure and mix-adjusted or dragging brakes. All these factors in which the fuel consumption depends. Now, how we can save the fuel? There are a few tips. These are: inspect air filter regularly so that we can get clean air inside the engine. Check the tire pressure. Be alert for sign of mechanical problems. Run engine at low RPM wherever possible. Service and repair equipment regularly. Avoid aggressive acceleration. Avoid excessive idling. Plan driving routes carefully. Buy a fuel efficient vehicle. Minimize drag. Reduce excessive weight. And of course, the operator experience, machine condition, job site condition, all affect the fuel consumption of the equipment. Now, due to all these things, new technology came into the place. Technology improving for reduction in dependence on the fuel and on-time monitoring of the performance of the equipment is needed. By adopting new technologies, companies could get ahead of the competition. New technologies are more reliable and safe investment. 5 specific innovations that could represent positive return on investment are hybridization, biofuel, automation, in the Internet of Things, IoT, and drones. Hybridization. The hybrid engine increases the fuel efficiency and make construction equipment more efficient. This is most successful in equipment having more use of brakes, like wheel loader and excavator, is giving good fuel efficiency by users of hybridization. Now, Komatsu and Caterpillar all came with the hybrid engines, and that giving the good results. In this machine movement power of the electronic portion of the hybrid engine, repetitive motions such as loading, digging, and that create friction that generate electricity. Power can be stored in this case in electric motor batteries, supercapacitor, hydraulic accumulator, flywheel, and whenever the power is required, we can utilize this power. Then this reduces the load on the engine and consequently fuel consumption decreases. Now, but diesel creates a lot of pollutants. So another thing like biofuel come in the pictures. A hybrid engine is not only the alternative power source for construction. Now diesel, the fuel of choice of heavy machinery, is more fuel efficient than gasoline, but it still releases substantial amount of pollutant. Alternative fuels such as biodiesel reduces emission and could qualify companies for government subsidy in some areas. Next is the automation. Next, the world is becoming more automated across all sectors, and the construction is not different. Autonomous equipment is one of the most significant advances to occur in this industry, like driverless vehicles or low driver interference in machinery operation. Robotic compactors can automatically adjust as per the site requirement and site condition, and GPS-based grid system in the motor girdle. All above reduces workers' involvement in machinery operation, letting autonomous machinery navigate a work site as per the changing condition and consequently reduces fuel consumption. Internet of Things, IoT. Internet connectivity in the equipment allows workers and contractors to track the performance of their machinery carefully. Sensor can measure fuel consumption and idle time, then set send this data directly to the worker, ensuring they are using equipment to their best ability. Trackers can send location data to managers in case something goes missing and get stolen. IoT application can also include power switches so that in the emergency they can signal worker to stop the malfunctioning machines. Now, fifth is the drone. Next, the construction industry is the fastest growing adopter of commercial drones. Drones are one of the most versatile pieces of modern technology. Construction company can use them to survey land, track progress, and increase security. Observing an area beforehand can significantly reduce the risk of workplace injuries. Drones can also serve as advanced security tools, wording of security tools. Now, last but not least, this most important thing, the plant layout and design. The plant layout should be in such a way that cycle time of the loading equipment should be on lower side. If the cycle time is more, then of course the machine has to run for more time for the same quantity of work. Second thing, for all plant like batching plant, RMC plant, hot mix plant, WM plant, all these plants, they are fitted with a one hopper, 4 bin feeders. The height of the bin feeder should be a lower side, and this will reduce the fuel consumption. At last but not least, skill upgradation of all the workers, staff, engineers, etc. is needed to improve continuously. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Mohan, for sharing those insights with us.